Why were rabbinical laws established? I don't know the straight answer. It's just more or less an interpretation of the pre-existing laws of the Torah, or sometimes they put fences around things to protect laws. I think that sounds about right.
Guidelines from a time when even basic daily living was unknown to a lot of people.
I think it was a product of the societal evolution and the need to preserve religion.
Rabbinical laws were established in order that there should be a fence around doing certain things that are not allowed.
I think the rabbis added some laws that the simple people will just understand the Bible better.
Like a lot of laws given in the Old Testament are too open-ended. You know, for example, honor thy father and mother. Well, what does it mean to honor thy father and mother? The rabbis, you know, have to come forth to clarify certain things.
Rabbinical laws were established basically thanks to our wonderful friends, the Romans, I think, who drove us out of our land and destroyed our temple. So rabbinical laws were necessary because there was no longer a priesthood, there was no longer the Kohanim to interpret them for us. So an entirely new establishment had to be created.
When you interpret the Bible face value, you can make there can be a lot of wrongdoings religiously. There could be a lot of misunderstandings of the Bible's laws. And I think that the rabbinical courts and the rabbinical, the rabbis were a little more knowledgeable as far as that goes, a little more spiritual as far as that goes. So they were able to interpret it to us in a more simplistic form and more basic for these generations.
The rabbis in the Talmud did never establish new laws. They gave us guidelines. They made a siyag, a fence around our things. Like today we have to make a bracha. That's what the rabbis ordained. We have to say a blessing before we eat any fruit. We have to say a blessing before we put on tefillin, and we have to say a blessing for this and a blessing for that. There's a heck of a lot of blessings, yeah? So you say, why did they put that on us? You got to understand that they found this as a necessity. At one time, when the Jewish people came out of Egypt, you got to realize this, when they saw God and they ate the manna and God was with them at all times, it was just natural that they set a blessing in their hearts. They appreciated everything as a gift from God. It was natural that they just felt this relationship to God. The rabbis saw that we're falling apart, so they told us, look, say a blessing, Baruch Atah Hashem, put yourself in front of the Almighty, thank Him, and maybe you'll feel it. God doesn't need our blessing, we need it. Rabbis only told us how to remember to thank God and to feel the gratitude, which is a pleasure, to feel like God loves you and He gives you a gift. Do you like gifts? I love gifts. Everybody loves gifts. Everything here is a gift. If you feel it as a gift, you're uplifted. You feel the love of God and you love God back, and it's a wonderful life. You just eat and eat and eat and eat. You get bored eating. You don't feel no gifts around. You say, where's God? Yeah. So they are helping us with their ordinances, which they did to keep us aware of the essentials that the Almighty taught us. If the Almighty came on Sinai and He gave us the mitzvahs, the commandments, for our good, you don't need any more and you can't do with any less. The rabbis never took away any of the mitzvahs. All they ever did was reinforce the commandments that we have by giving us ordinances to remind us of how, what we want to do and live with. If we have to wash hands before we eat, that's not from the Almighty, that's not from Torah. But they remind us, wash your hands, you have human blood. I mean, human blood on your hands? Yeah. Did you insult someone? Did you take someone's money? Wash your hands before you imbibe, before you take sustenance from the Almighty. Be properly oriented towards His will before you take from Him the gifts that He gave to you. So all of the ordinances are for that purpose. The rabbis only came to reinforce the 613 commandments and reinforce our pleasures in life and reinforce our ability to live, to think. Nowadays, you have to remind children, you have to remind adults that when you make a bracha, you're not paying God. You're reminding yourself how much He loves you. You have to remind them, otherwise they think, I paid up. we lose track of it. You got to find, if I was a chief rabbi or if the Jewish people would follow my ordinances, I tell them, look, every time you make a bracha, you got to remember to say before the bracha a new ordinance. I am thanking God not for His sake, but to feel His love and the gift that He gave me. Pass a new law. Then everyone say, another law. Yeah, but it's not working. We got